At 6 o'clock, I'll call our meeting to order and I'll start with
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we do roll call, please.
Ryan Robertson.
Here.
Kevin Keane.
Here.
Alan Schneider.
Here.
Paul Sutton.
Here.
Lois Schneider. Here. Edgar McGuire.
Here. President Moore, we'll start with the agenda. Any questions or comments on the agenda?
It has 4 key voted on separate.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We have a motion to approve the agenda. And we'll move on to that.
Motion to approve the agenda. Second statement.
That was seconded by Edgar. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda, request was. Separately.
Yes, but pull that for separate consideration. I make conclude it's not agenda, but using programs.
Second. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, consent agenda items A to D are approved. And we'll have any discussion or action on item B. So,
My question, Cole, what is the requirement to fill that position?
just being resident, well, in this case, this would be a resident specific board of adjustment. We do have a couple that are rural representatives, but this would just be being a resident in Riverside. It would be it should be an eligible elector, which means you live in Riverside, you are above the age of 18 or 18 or older, and you can vote. So in this case, the applicant meets all of those. This would be filling the vacancy left by Edgar's appointment on the city council. So, and we also still have another vacancy in addition to this one. So if we were to appoint Riverside, we still have that one, and we can fill in another applicant as well. But yeah. Thank you for your question.
Yeah.
Eligible.
Make a motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. One is approved. Move on to item 5 on the agenda, our last one. Going for the speaking public forum this evening. Okay, no, go ahead.
We are the owners of a new coffee shop opening just down the block.
This is Andrew Brooks and Angela Brooks from Sunrise.
Our names. And we were wondering if this is the correct place to do this, but to ask for having 2 of those parking spots on the west side of the building be designated for mobile ordering parking for us. And if that could be left on the agenda for next city council meeting, I guess is the request, I think.
I'm okay with it, and you and Alan, you and I talked about it a little bit. There would be public parking stalls, so we would be potentially dedicating them at least in a restricted time period for private use. We haven't been through that in our city, not to say that there aren't other cities who do things like that. As I talked to Josh about it,
Yeah.
I mean, we're open to conversation about it. This is something because it would be private. I mean, a public parking stall used for private use when run by city council.
Yeah.
Before we went through the process of, figuring out what it would take to make this work. If there's not support, obviously it wouldn't be worth the time, but if there is, we would look into it. That's something I guess I would let city council weigh on. I guess at this point, if it's up to you guys, if you wanted to put it on, if you guys do want to talk about it further, you could have it on the next city council agenda. If not, that's, so. No, not necessarily. I mean, we'd have to look at what the change would involve. So if you guys are open to it, we can look into it and figure out what to take. That's the direction.
Put it on the next agenda.
Just a quick question, what kind of hours will you be requesting for those parking spots?
Primarily just for the morning. Obviously would like it in those all the time, but that's not probably realistic for a public parking spot. And so I had thought of this that time, but the morning commute will probably be the primary user of the mobile ordering. And so 6 to 10 or something like that.
So Andrew,
From 6 to 10.
my understanding was it was just for like a dedicated spot, or you could see like spot 1 or spot 2.
Yeah. Yeah. For people who use our mobile ordering app, they could just hold them there for 2 minutes. Not find a parking spot.
I mean, I don't know where ours for the rentals, but cutting down to the side for the.
Yeah, I mean, we'd be surprised once we have an open coffee shop and a few other businesses open down there. So, yeah.
Also, with that, to Sunrise, separate from parking, is outdoor seating area, so on the west side of the building. Whether that be a simple, like, table, 2 chairs, or a bench. or things like that.
We know that's not our property, and so we didn't know if there would be something that the city would want to do to have more public outdoor seating, just for use during the nice months there's those benches out there already, and so if we could have more benches around that area, like on the side of the building, or tables that we could like get, everything like that. Just wanted to see if there were any ideas to make that area a little bit more inviting for people to sit outside. From the stuff
I
myself.
yeah. I spoke with Miranda about it, and she said she was going to send me over kind of a proposal of the size of table and location. I haven't seen anything on that yet, so if you guys pick it up and can send it over, I think that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
So at least know what you're requesting.
Yeah.
So we'll have it on next agenda.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just to be clear, that's what I was gonna write. If you want to add some type of
Proposal.
Thank you, guys.
Anyone else on this forum? All right, we'll continue on. The next item on the agenda is item 6, petition for special election of the city council.
There's no action on this. I just want to thank everyone that we received a valid petition for the deadline of last Monday, 6 p.m., which would have been 14 days following the appointment of Edgar McGuire. So we will be having a special election. We're getting this to, already been in conversation with the county auditor. We'll get it to them. They'll make a publication about the special election. It'll be the same process, same forms for candidates at the regular election. It's just, except in this case, instead of the regular election on the special election. And the date that we're looking at is September 9th, second Tuesday in September. The Secretary of State establishes a handful of dates each year that are eligible for a special election to be held on. That would be the next system one, which per 372.13, which is the Iowa Code section, it's supposed to be the next available special election date, unless we would have the time of the 45 days to publish and get candidates, but we have that. So September 9th is the meeting. So any questions on
The date or after you submit your ballot or
that would be in the publication of the county auditor. So I don't know, but we'll have more information come out.
So that would be for
Same thing as any other election, as long as you're eligible elector. You can vote. You're over 18 or older, you live in the Riverside, you're eligible to run.
and also the paperwork.
Yeah, I believe there was a law change that was made this last session that I believe all of the nomination petitions and affidavit forms need to go to the county auditor rather than the state clerk. They had some issues in cities across the state where those forms weren't submitted in time, so they can't get it on ballot. So they changed that now directly to the county auditor. But again, all the information on deadlines, where to submit forms, that will be sent out by the county office. So, any questions on that?
I guess it's just more exciting things. So it's cool. It's all good to go. Just ready for approval for the members there. Doing a great job. Few members that are kind of slowing down in their career, and that's fine. They're not receiving their allotments with the rest of the folks that I have on there that are eligible for it and that are doing a good job. I think they're all very deserving of it. So.
In case you're wondering, it's about $1,000 less than last year, too. Which we
lost a few. I mean, we had a few years out of town, too, so there's
a big budget, 5,000 between the paper call and the stipends. More than that. We will note that this is before we take all the diapers, FICA and Medicare. Also, there's a few percentage points more that are in those payroll taxes, but that's.
Questions?
Well, this is just motion to approve.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Are you, searching for members or comfortable with what you got, or you want to trade, or?
We have we've got 3 new members on, at the beginning of this. Yeah, towards the beginning or toward the fall. So we have them. Bring that back over here for full time. Right now, I think we're set pretty good. That can always change. I guess people's lives change or jobs and whatnot. I think we're set pretty good right now, but the city is growing. With some new additions coming here that are, I think they're going to be taxed into our service that I think we need to. Cole and I have had some discussions of what the probably is going to look like as far as our department. I think we're probably at a crossover and we'll some serious discussions about the department moving forward.
Chad, we also, this would be for next discussion, not necessarily, but we last updated these, say 3 years ago. We made a change to this current $7 per call in the current structure. I know you requested we look at increasing these again. I think it's something we should bring back at the next meetings, but you sent me over proposals and stuff. But
Yeah, I think we're that's what probably here. Hopefully maybe next week some stuff together.
it's pretty easy to model just because you have this entire spreadsheet. All the
Yeah.
numbers and
Just be increasing it, like we're just doing for the workload that goes into this. Is, for some of us, especially the chief over and it's more of a part-time job than it is a volunteer thing. So it's kind of adjusting and going with what is more in relation to the departments around us, what people are doing too. And business service.
I think when last I think I had here maybe some updated like secondary information from the surrounding communities or rural communities, and then we at that point just did a analysis off that and just
Yeah.
So I think it'd be very simple.
Yeah, that's how we talk about.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the second, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion approved.
Just last couple things, just so you guys get to speak. The next 2 Tuesdays at the board supervisors meeting, should get the people of the EMS back, so that should bring in roughly $65,000 to $68,000 to our budget for the fire EMS protection. Kind of have that broke down with Cole and Stephanie of what those like things are can be spent on. It's pretty good list of items, so that'll be an injection into the budget, into the system. So that'll come. Deputy Chief Toby Hancock is the representative for the services that'll be at the board supervisor. The EMA director Schmucker. Then just been working with Cole and the city on the new RV and water park thing that's going in out there. So as far as hydrant layouts, trees, the park for did stuff the new wellness center vaccine and that got that pretty well. Got that really well, flow really well as far as the 30 there. Then the new fire engine is still slated to probably be inspected and picked up probably mid-August, and by the time we get back here, that's where we're at.
And the office is installed.
The office project's done. I got the desk and stuff ordered, so that should wrap up here for the next couple weeks. Not really well, so thank you guys for that. Move on to the next project inside the building. That's before it's coming in. There you go.
Thank you.
Next up on the agenda is amendments, but fiscal year 26 budget amendments.
Yes, so we have a public hearing, before we open that, we can go over just what those would be. So we need a $16,000 budget amendment, general government, $390,071, amendment to capital projects, $530 to transfer. So that's
Questions about that?
oh, you guys can open the
Item under this, for public hearing. So I entertain a motion for the public hearing.
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing.
By Rogers, discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote, Rogers. Keeney. Schneider. Dwyer. All right. That's this 18. Our vote is open. Anyone wishing to speak public hearing?
Also did not receive any comments.
That was the question.
I've never been to
Listen to us on.
Like I took government in high school and I was like, I got it all.
As soon as you're done with your stuff.
Much.
Motion closed. Section. Any discussion on that? We'll help us do that as well. McGuire. Aye. Aye. And we'll move to our resolution to approve the project. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026.
Minutes real quick. We are 35.
Dash 35, resolution to approve fiscal year budget.
Motion by Robertson, second by Kennedy. Any discussion on that? Vote to approve. Robertson. Aye. Schneider. And McGuire. Aye.
Okay, we'll get those to the auditor's office.
Anything else on that? Point number 9 on our agenda is discussion of garbage and recycling.
Yeah, so the first item type 8 here will have a resolution to issue a notice of termination of our solid waste and recycling collection contract with Lakeshore Recycling Systems. If you remember, we just entered into this contract. It took effect beginning of fiscal year 2026, so July 1st of last year. We've documented and experienced quite a few service issues that have been well reported on our end and passed on to them to fix. Unfortunately, we have not seen these to surface, and we've issued a couple insufficient service penalties that are outlined in the contract. We also, per our contract, have the ability to just, if we feel that we're getting insufficient service for residents, that we can issue a 60-day notice of termination, which it is my strong recommendation that we exercise that. I've also, we've had a handful of local haulers here reach out with interest in taking on our community. We have those for your consideration as well. So the idea is that we would issue a 60-day notice of termination. That would give us, we would also award a contract to a new hauler this evening, and that would give us a time to work on a transition so that our residents are well notified, and that we have a as smooth as a transition as possible. So, any questions on the termination notice? That?
Resolution to issue notice of termination of contract related for recycling systems for solid waste recycling services.
One second, that.
We have discussion. We'll take a vote on that resolution. McGuire. Sexton. Robertson. Okay, been approved.
All right, so the next, I tried to do my best to compile, the proposals we got. We have, I think, from each of, who proposed. So if you guys see anything on there that I, misunderstood or is incorrect, please let me know. I saw it printed out, but anyways, we have 5 different proposals, one from Inland Sanitation, one from Smith Sanitation, one from agency disposal, Riverside Sanitation, and all of our dumpsters as well. So there's a couple new ones on there. And then Smith and EDC all proposed last time. So at this point, I just accepted anyone who is interested, just out of trying to expedite this process.
I guess my question is on, is the 700 plus tonnage, is that?
That's for a city cleanup, sorry, yeah. Yep. Could be, yeah, I believe so, I guess. Twice.
Once, those 2 or 3, they just.
So you just charge $75 per time plus $65 per tonnage. Worth tonnage, I guess, sorry, 60,000. I guess we currently do collection on Mondays, and I think that's our preference to continue to do so. I know I think a few of them on specific Friday. I don't think it's the end of the world if no services pickups. I would say one of my concerns is on a Friday is there's a missed pickup. Someone comes home from work Friday evening, discovers it wasn't picked up, and then you're waiting until at least Monday to have that picked up. Obviously, if the pickups aren't an issue, that's not an issue, but I guess, and on your says Friday, is that open for discussion, or is Friday what you guys can do?
Friday would be beneficial for us. Obviously, we're hills and country and switching some other city. Friday is our biggest open day for you guys. You have 4 or 5 cities that give you a county. Put you guys in Friday. If it's a deal breaker, we can go to smaller trucks. They can't do smaller cities like hills, switching and stuff like that. We'll put a bigger truck into your city and get it done.
Smith Sanitation, both of the Monday or Friday.
Is Friday, we don't run our own trucks, so you'd be like our customer out guys, and then Mondays also.
You ever represent for APC here?
Yes.
Okay, is it just Friday is what you think available?
I'll have to double check. I mean, we're usually pretty flexible on days. I mean, I'll keep it on Saturdays, but I think you need that. I will check that out.
And LR dumpsters, I didn't see it specified. You guys have a date you're looking at, or a day of what you're looking at doing?
We could do
No, side of this.
it. So we have representatives from each of you.
So yes.
I got a question for each. Two-part question. One, where do you set your recycle collection? And 2, is there ever circumstances that it would end up in the landfill and not recycled?
So I can.
Move alphabetically.
You're pretty much gonna do the same answers, right?
Yeah. No, I worked for City Cart Recycling for a long time, and I've been to council meetings. I can tell you, our situation is all the recycling goes to Scott County Solid Waste. We have a sorting facility in Dallas. We've got a relationship with them for going on 9 years now. That's the easy answer so far. As far as what happens if it's contaminated, what we'll do is this: we will notify the customer, whether it be City of Riverside or Dave's Bait Shop, let them know that what's going on and get a chance to correct it. We don't penalize if there's contamination. Worst case scenario, we'd have to go an entire load contaminated to the point where it would not be acceptable. Any recycling, I've had experience with that. That's how we handle that. We've had situations where something was so bad with any city customers, but basically just have to go to landfill. But you got to follow your course of action with every situation. So, key thing is communication. One of the things we offer, just to add to that, we'll do public education sessions for any customer of any size, because people, when they hear it from another person, it makes a lot more impact than reading it on flyer. So that's how I would answer that.
But under no circumstances would you say if you're under a time restraint or convenience, you would take recyclables to the
No, you don't want to go down that road.
Well, I think you summed it up. I know ABC, Smith, and me all have our own recycling facility. We dump in-house and transfer over to Scott County. So for us, it would be a lot more user-friendly to dump in-house than it would be to waste time for the landfill.
We have a recycling plant out of the city that we transfer out.
One of the things I think is important is resident communication. So if we can be understanding if there are delays or due to weather or a mechanical issue or whatever's going on, that if collection's delayed or it might slide back a day, that can happen. We don't want that to happen, but we understand communication, so that being proactively letting us know that we're not finding out through mistake of reports from our residents. Rather, we're getting that information just straight to the city, letting us know so we get information. That's something we'd like to see. Also, something we've done is we've created our own forum for any kind of service issues. So think cart issues, wheels fall off, lid breaks, that whole thing, miscollection. Let's see, empty item pickup. We created a form because we had to with our current hauler, but essentially we have whatever established email you guys have. It will send our dedicated form to you guys with information. I'm okay, if we adopt whatever system is going to work for you guys. What we like about our current form is that it records it and files it for us to work with it. But we're open to. We just want to make things as smooth and consistent as possible. It's one of those services that would be good. You don't hear about it, and I know it's kind of thankless, but that's, I think, kind of the expectation we have in this. So, yeah. Yes, City Council, any other questions?
I have a question about fires on the city. We had a miscommunication this last time, so I was just wondering about tire disposal.
For us, we would charge whatever the landfill charges. That's probably what we take it. I think it's like $5 or $7 or $10.
They change it all the time. Yeah, it's really very old.
Yeah, and that's something we'll all discuss with you guys. We're pretty much all charge the same thing.
That's right.
It's right around whatever the landfill charges. So
Is it if residents are paying it? Is the homeowner paying it or the city's paying it? Something to
Limitation that we put on the city cleanup day is taking a customer who's going around picking up tires from every Joe Blow Facebook marketplace and then brings them to the city cleanup for free. regular residential use of tires, right? Like, oh, I got or off maybe, right? That's acceptable, but we've experienced city cleanups where somebody will literally bring trailers of material, right? And that's where you have to have more rules and regulations. There's some cities that are we never have issues with, and then there's other cities where you definitely have to be more strict on what you'll take. But something like tires, right? Yeah, it's whatever landfill charges within reason, right? If somebody shows up with 50 tires, we're probably gonna turn them away, right? That's not just a residential.
Yeah. I guess I had a couple more questions and then I'll turn it over to city council. One was on insurance. So there's no RFP posted. I guess for the last time we put this out, I know I tried to direct everyone to either they had seen it before, maybe the same requirements there, or if you haven't checked like that. But our insurance requirements, just want to make sure everyone knows this and meets this. So we have like a general aggregate limit of 2 million, rest of the operating aggregate of 2 million, personal advertising injury of 1 million, insurance limit. So we also have bodily injury, property damage. We just want to make sure that you guys have adequate coverage. And if I haven't seen your guys' I guess insurance certificate, you can share that with me. And if we, I guess, one of the hauler that did not submit it, you hadn't, please submit that before we will formally move ahead with the contract. That's, I just want to make sure you guys know that. And then, other thing. I'm not remembering that, but I go for it.
If LRS fails to pick up all their cans, what do you do with them? Will you guys take them
Oh, yes.
in-house?
That would be-
Move this out.
That's the same thing we did for Swisher. So they picked up some of them, left the rest on the lawn, and we just took them for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the only other thing I would say is if you have an attorney in the house, you can basically commandeer them. If I were you guys, I would put them on Facebook somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. You are on the deals, sell them. I mean, you get $30 for it.
Basically abandoned property.
Yeah,
Right.
That's what's.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
property.
Yeah, I know, like, I have a dumpster sitting on the lot, but we're waiting to see if they're gonna come with their truck. Otherwise, I'm gonna get out there for you.
For a couple of them.
Yeah.
I've done it to
I guess my last question, you guys saw that we did terminate our current hauler with a clause for 60-day notice. I think that's something, just going through this experience, we would want to retain. I understand that as, security with your person, is why you wouldn't like that. But after, going through an issue like this, we don't plan to ever exercise it. But if you do, it's nice to have that fail safe in here. Is that something you should be comfortable with that repeating?
Smith, I'm assuming these contracts for ours and service provision.
Yeah, we've got, the thing, I'm sure we can do that. I'll just put it that way. We have a performance clause. It's the first paragraph of the second page. And the non-legal lease basically says, if there's a service breakdown, you can cancel service. That's right.
Yeah, I'm assuming Smith has the same.
We just want to be signing your contracts. We just want clear expectations on both sides.
Yeah.
What the service expectation is. If we're not meeting that, not a good fit, not all right. We can find other haulers, and I hope we don't have to do that to any of you guys, but we just want to make sure that at the end of the day, our residents are getting those services that they're paying. Yeah, so.
We failed, we have every right to terminate, so we're not gonna hold you to it, so.
Any other questions from city council?
do you have any recommendations in terms of which of these is going to be most beneficial?
I mean, just off of my pricing projections based off of 700 households, that's about where we stand right now. And then it's the most competitive over that term. So, I mean, I'm certainly comfortable there, but I also see that Smith Sanitation and Alpine Dumpsters also provided a pretty competitive proposal as well. So, I don't know. I also think out of respect to the smaller surrounding communities, I know Kelowna's working with, and then I believe Lone Tree as well. Yeah, I mean, I feel based off of this proposal that, and then most closely aligns with what we're looking to do. But like I said, I think between internet and sanitation or LNR are both competitive. We're all three competitive.
Discussion on the city council.
Not even a question for the group. I'm sure they're all equally prepared for staff and they have adequate equipment to run this additional route. My question would be, how old, looking at maintenance wise on your vehicles, how old equipment do you try to keep in the fleet operate?
We try to go with the newer one and the older one, every other. We have a 2025, 2024, and we also have some 2013s. And that's mainly because the loan can be pricey, so can repairs. Balance maintenance versus, something that you can turn down. That seemed to work for us. We used to work at Johnson County Refuse before it got sold out. That worked for us there. Kind of the same system that they use. It's tough sometimes, but between Smith and Eleanor, how would you guys handle the cart transition? Were you guys looking at to purchase your own and then write them to our community and like disperse them, drop them off? How would you guys go about that process?
We would probably just put them on a respect trailer and drive along the streets, disperse them that way. They provide their own cars. So.
We would provide our own, but in the event that LRS was willing to sell the current cans, we would buy those off. They probably have another 10 years left, and then we would stay. I don't know if they're going to do that. I'd rather see that happen than if they all go to the landfill.
Is your preference to acquire those rather than?
It would be. I think it would just be a smoother transition, and we just have to worry about getting them all stickered in probably 1 or 2 services.
I mean, I'd be happy to provide contacts there. I think about, but if whoever reached out is, you guys decide to go that route, you can provide a contact with you guys. Have
that would be as long as you guys are okay with it. I mean, they got plenty of life left.
From a functionality perspective.
Yeah.
I think the only thing you have to be wary of, like we talked about that too, is like what happens if last minute they pull out, right? Because cards realistically most of the time are 4 to 6 weeks out, right? So if you enter into a situation where LRS says, sure, you can buy them, and then we're waiting, and then suddenly they change their mind, that could be risky, right? So it would make sense for any of us to just buy the cards off of them. It could make sense for the city to buy the cards off of them, right? And the city owns the cards. Frankly, it makes, I shouldn't say it, but there could be benefits to you guys owning your own cards, right? That makes transition if you have a problem a lot faster, right? Because it's your cards, it's your property, it's your business, right? But that's the risky part, right? If one of us banks on all of us saying, hey, yeah, we don't have people on site to service your trash nor pick up these carts, what happens if last minute, hey, JK, we're going to pull them? Many of us would realistically, if we were to get new, I mean, most of our people are 4 to 6 weeks out, and that's like, hey, how fast can you so I think it's a conversation that any of us could have, but that could be, I don't, can you even talk to anybody enough to know whether or not they
Can you
would
trust them to deliver on something that clearly they've shown to communities across the county that they can't do?
So this seems like probably purchase.
And we already, as soon as Cole reached out, we put a slot in, so we have birds on order for you guys already for coming to us for middle.
like a position held in production, right? Because it's city contract season, right? So cart people, they're backed up, but it is a good option. I think you just have to, anybody who approaches them have to make sure that if it's not achieved or guaranteed by a certain date, that the flip is switched. You don't want to be something without cards.
When we have to sit on hold.
Getting back to my question about the fleet and reliability. Often, sure.
So what it really means a year on it, more how well you take care of it. So like with the business, obviously, I'm third generation. I was a mechanic for more than 15 years for we do run older stuff, but we get to familiar with all the emissions on new stuff. Most of the time, when it breaks down, it's the emissions that cause it to break down. So we do run a little bit older stuff. Obviously, the truck that we'll be servicing you in 2017. But we do take good pride in the trucks, and basically anything that is broke gets fixed right away. We don't wait for it to be a huge problem. We always take care of like putting new floors in, tailgate seals, any sort of water fix or anything like that. We take care of it right away. We run split body automated, and right now we have, I think we got 3 on the lot right now. So we always have a backup split body sitting around. Oh, we got 2 single packages. We got 4 split bodies now. So we have enough backups. Basically, if the one goes down, we just get full repairs. We have enough. We can send a new one out. So I mean, to answer your question, we do run some older stuff, but I would say it's really well taken care of.
For us, we're pretty small business. Our newest truck is a 2013 Green Carrier. We're in the works of trying to get a secondary one, but right now we have one on the truck. And that's where we're at with it. We just have a little work, so.
Just gonna point out, it's so smart when you're in this kind of business that you have a shop with people that know how to fix things. We have actually 10 bays at our shop in Cedar Rapids, and about a dozen technicians. Most of our side load trucks, which is what we would be running for your particular city, they've all been purchased in the last 3 years. So at the same time, we've got older trucks too that we have as backup, and then we run out of parts of our market. We're like in about 5 counties right now, so there's plenty of territory.
I guess no doubt notifying residents of, say, any issues with their garbage or recycling, whether it be, non-allowable items in your recycling. I guess without doing notification.
We currently leave a note, but it's in the process through our software. We've linked it up with the cameras and us. They can take a picture with the dumps, and leave it with the address and flag it. Supposedly, they're supposed to be able to get involved and be able to flag trash or not, but that's probably a ways away. And then the driver can mark it as trash, and then we would, in our pool routes where we have the contact information, we can be proactive and reach out. It's all kind of a system that's we're starting just getting into, and I think it's very good in the waste industry. So,
Yeah, we have cameras in our hoppers and all around our truck, so usually we can tell if there's something that goes in there that's not allowed. For most of our cities, we just have a really good relationship with whoever the city admin is typically and let them know. And typically I would say most of our cities, they want to be responsible for talking to the resident directly, and so we just keep track of it. But I would say that's probably,
I should make sure that there's an issue that there's you guys can submit that to us so we can address. it.
We do leave like a sticker on the lid as well. We
Yeah,
usually
I
give
know.
them 2 or 3 notices. If they still don't remedy the situation, that's when we'll try to take care of it up front first. But at some point, if they're not going to listen, it's either we stop picking it up and then you get a really nasty call, or we reach out with the address and like, hey, you want to get hold of them, let them know if they do this again, it's going to be a no pickup. from now
We've
on.
never had to cancel service to a resident, but
Yeah.
we just.
Any other discussion? We actually have contracts or agreements with or not.
No, this is just a resolution to award, I guess the contract, then the open draft contract will approve that out of their. So this would just to,
Well,
yes, yeah. Yeah, select a hauler and then we do a team draft contract, and then unless something in the qualifications falls through, or, I guess, can't come to an agreement, then we would look at, another hauler or something like that, so honestly, it would probably be good if besides, selecting one that you would award to, that you also select maybe like a 1, 2, 3 on there, just in case something did fall through, that we already have a direction on which to do. Does that make sense?
Well, we motion to approve resolution 2026-07 with the intent to award recycling and waste management to Smith Recycling.
I have a second.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll take a phone call vote on that. Rogerson. Bill. Keen. Sexton.
Aye.
Schneider.
No.
Aye. That's approved by a vote of 3-2. To Cole's point, we want to discuss second choice. For some reason, I wasn't sure of even negotiations.
George will be in the
I second that.
Any other comments on that? Cole, anything to add?
No.
Okay.
Well, then, thank you all for your time,
Yeah, we appreciate it.
and especially kind of short notice to put together a proposal. And I also appreciate you doing this. So this is something we typically do 5-year contracts, so keep it in your calendars, that watch out, it will be putting out for proposal again in the near future. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you. Be in touch.
Yeah, sounds good.
I got our sponsor. We'll see if we can do it.
We'll talk.
Thank you.
All right, next up on the agenda is our people service number reports.
Good evening. So, last month we had our DNR water sanitary survey. Everything went really well. We had a few recommendations. I brought I don't know if you guys had a chance to look through. We have copies if you want to get. There was nothing like significant. Pretty much just went around the water plant, looked at all our stuff, made sure overflows had the right screens on it, cleanliness, all of our bacteria samples, paperwork was located where we knew everything was, emergency evacuation plans, like all of the stuff. A couple minor deficiencies. So our fluoride that we add, we buy it in a like 55 gallon drum from Hawkins. And he was gonna follow up. I haven't heard back yet, but he was leery why we have just a one chemical pump that we transfer from that into the day tank that holds the 10 gallons. Wasn't exactly sure. He knew that he didn't say it was wrong, but it wasn't exactly right because most of the other chemicals we have in the great big bulk, and then we just transfer it from the hose into the day tank. So I'm waiting to hear back from that.
Jed, you said it one time, what's this, you have a large.
So we have like a garbage can.
Yep, 55 gallon drum,
Yep. And then we have just like a handled pump.
Yep.
That transfer it into the day tank, and then from there pumps through the RO.
And how does that compare to the other?
So the other ones, Hawkins comes, they take out of their big truck and puts it in the big tank, and then we have a hose from the big tank to the day tank.
Is it functionally the same thing, or what's the concern?
It's not. I think the thing he was worried about was using that hand pump with different chemicals and cross contamination.
Okay. You guys only use that chlorine?
Yeah, that's the only, just for that fluoride.
Would labeling that as chlorine only?
We recommend, yeah, fluoride.
Chlorine, sorry, fluorine. I thought you were talking chlorine.
No, fluoride. Okay. Yeah, so the chlorine, they fill up the big huge tank, and then we transfer it into the tank. That was the one I'm still waiting to hear back from him. I'll probably give him a call because it's been a few weeks now. The main sampling issue that he saw, so we have a monthly bacteria samples. We take 2 different spots, and most of the time I take one here, and then I'll take one at the water plant itself. And he just wants a broader throughout the town, better representation of the town. So we revamped our sampling plan. We put like it was a little outdated, so I added like Dollar General. I didn't get in there all the time. Like just put places on there that I could get to. Grandma's house, places that I could get a hold of during the month, during the day that we just worried about. The church, and so far it's been working out really well.
In the areas of town that you need a sampling location.
What's that?
You have any areas of town you need a sampling location that you currently have?
No. Yeah, it's 12 different places that we do twice a year. So every 6 months, we do 2 a month. So it's going to work out pretty well. Water tower, since the water tower had been done or built whenever ago, I think they made the screen requirement, the overflow. It's got to be so small so critters don't climb up in there, the overflow. So we just got to get the new finer mesh, like almost like a window screen, pretty much, that we just pulled on there. Couple weird, like when the cyber attack stuff, when we're just getting better, when our SCADA is updated and everything like that, like that'll have new codes and everything in it.
That was the recommendations they had.
Yeah, so this is what he put. Cyber attacks against public water systems are increasing. Implementing basic cyber hygiene practices can help your utility prevent, detect, respond, recover from cyber incidents.
The Department of Homeland Defense or Homeland, DHS has, I sent this to Steve a couple years ago, but there are assessments that you can do for your own facilities for both water and wastewater, and it includes both physical and cybersecurity. Those are things I would highly recommend getting those done. At least we can kind of see the vulnerabilities of that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, locking our gates and whatever, we don't want to go so far. If somebody really, obviously, if somebody really wants to do something, it'd be hard to, I don't know, but, and all that computer stuff is over my head. Yeah, he did recommend, like, all those chemical feed lines color coded and labeled better. We have a little label printer that we're gonna do that. That was the main bigger stuff. The clear well, when that was built, and I think that's something that they've updated over the last 20 years. On the flat surface of the clear well outside of the building, there's a couple hatches, and the hatches now are required to be raised up above higher. So there's less chance of like rainwater or outside contamination to seep through the lid, I guess. So that was he kind of said it was a little far-fetched to just fix it. It's something that we were going to look at and see how the seals were on it. If the seals be changed, just to, but I mean, we're never on the building. That'd be one of those cybersecurity things that somebody really wanted to bust a lock and dump some stuff in our vehicle. But I think we'd pick up on that pretty quick. Leak detections program.
I haven't.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we said no, we can send out to city council and that also, I think, give it to Brian as well. I think that would help us on some of our capital improvements that we need to address some of that there as well. So.
Yeah, leak detection plan. So we just kind of practice that. You know, if I know that there's a leak in town, then we start looking and the leak's going to show itself. He's recommended having somebody come in once a year, twice a year. And we've kind of been doing that. Steve Ively, leak detector. So the last few weeks, I've noticed the plant running a little longer. And I know a lot of it, school's out, people are filling pools, watering lawns. I got a call right before work got done. Cherry Lane, their sump pump has just been running and running and running. So we've got a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks, but I tested it and it had a hint of chlorine in it, the water coming out of the sump pump. So I was over there for a while. I shut the water off to the house to see if that would slow it down. It's still every minute that sump pump would run. So we're keeping an eye on it. The water pressure in their house wasn't, so when I had it on, water pressure was fine. It was the smallest hit, and I'm assuming, or I would know that groundwater would not have chlorine residual in it. So if it's a leak, it's minor. The issue was it was getting to their sump pump. Their sump pump, first one failed over the weekend and flooded their basement. So they got a new sump pump put in. It's been running a lot. I told her I'd come back tomorrow and see what's going on. I also said that we could get a leak detector in and maybe, because that's copper going into the house, should make some noise if there's a leak. And I'm assuming it'd be right at the foundation somewhere. And that's just the easiest place to fill is through a sump pump. Send out and
Shed that's also on the side, not be
right.
Responsible.
Yeah, so we're.
Then you
I told her I'd help out with
you
the
pass the contact to them. That's the extent of.
Yeah, we're gonna see if she could divert the flow of the sump pump water to see if the ground starts drying up. If the ground doesn't dry up, then our water is pretty close to the sidewalk, and it's, I don't know, we're still kind of beginning phases of figuring that out. Good thing is your sump pump's working and they have water. RO1 is still down, waiting for those parts to get back in, and then we're getting some more hydrants painted for truck posts this weekend. Waste plant. Still waiting on Ames and Glasgow to come in and look at that UV so we can get that closed up. We've been doing our quarterly E. coli samples. Everything's been coming good, so it's working still. We have one left to do, and that'll be done this week. Oh, the rover or the Top Gun spraying guys came in and sprayed our lagoons on Friday, so those are all done. Next on our sheet, lift station 4 pump replacement.
Yep.
We have Brandon had quotes.
Brandon got 3 quotes there. Has he talked to you about those?
Just briefly.
Okay.
I think Steve had a recommendation on one of them out there.
Unless it's different than what I spoke to Brandon about, his recommendation was the cheapest one here, is that the specs were the same, which was quality pump and control.
Yeah, because the other ones were
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah. So quality of pump and controls. So we're down to 1 active pump at lift station 4 right now. So, yeah. This is a little different, different model, but the specs work just for this lift station. And this does include install as well. So everything's taken care of.
Reason the other ones higher their flight pumps. That's what they sold, so that's what they were trying to sell us. I have all faith that this other pump will work. This mine's what we do. Would like to get it going. Our lift station has been over for the last year.
So we'll get those done August, September, October.
Electric pump came in, looked at another pump that we were getting weird EFD numbers on, and it just got something clogged in it. They're coming back at the waste plant. In both SBRs, there was one decant valve that didn't open the end of last week. So they're going to take a look at that and figure out. So it's taken, now every time I decant, it takes twice as long. So I only have one decant valve opening. And with all this inflow of water, it's just each one decants as the other one settles, and then that one decants, and they're just going back and forth right now. We can get the flows down. I think that's it. He's waiting on, I think he did say he had an VFD, but he was waiting on that actuator valve. That must be just taking forever. I'll get him a call again. I think if we have the VFD, he could just stick that in and we can run it. We have been back flushing it, everything to keep it from sitting. Yes.
Any other questions? All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yes, on the pump there, quality pump control is the one that I had spoken to Brandon about. This quote includes everything but freight in here, and I don't have my notes in there, but he looked at the freight was going to be pretty reasonable too. So, yeah, a little over $8,270.50. See that plus freight. So,
Okay. So that's the recommendation.
correct.
Okay. Questions on that? There are no questions. We have a motion to proceed with that purpose.
That's $8,207.50 plus freight.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Get that going.
Carried.
Thanks.
Good evening.
right, couple updates on Wellness Center, Longsill. So before was the documents construction drawings there. Just one update there as far as the coordinating with them to get added a second access on the Galileo Drive on that southern parking lot that extends east-west. We were pushing the limit there, turn around intentionally, not knowing if we would expand further in the west with any future additions that at that time here. But we were able to fit that in fine with the current parking lot design without using and make it more for fire truck movement. So we did add that driveway there.
Right, was the also fire code required based off of the length of parking lot there?
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm referring to. Yeah, it's 150 feet. It's generally 52 wide, which we are hit on the north-south parking on the east. We were pushing that about 200 feet on that southern one. So we did have that secondary access. No problems, issues there. Then we have been an architect has been coordinating with the equipment supplier, push pull. We previously discussed and mentioned before. They had a good couple meetings there, so coordination is moving along on the actual equipment within the facility there. Other than that, everything's still working fine on schedule, proceeding as previously discussed. All right. I guess when my report I got CBD, but it looks like here, then we'll go Hall Park. Hall Park, as we discussed last time, moving forward with that option 3, that space design, if you will, on the equipment. We have laid that out on site in a couple different places and locations, trying to make the grading work most efficiently while also keeping all the trees. The western tree, I'll call it, between what would be pickleball courts in the playground. Since grade-wise, that it's probably a little bit of issues with that, but we're working through it, trying to keep that fall surface as compact and efficient as well, just for cost-wise. So I got a couple layouts sent out that we certainly can share with you at the next meeting as well. With some sidewalk tie-ins too, for overall connection with the sidewalks around. And then have some opinion of costs associated with that layout. We're coming in right about budget there on that original $340,000 total with all in. That's with full sidewalk loop though, so we can certainly coordinate.
And I saw this, I guess this afternoon was 2,000 over, but that's also with additional sidewalk that we didn't.
It is.
I mean, it's being tied in, but there's also nobody might use the tree just from a shade perspective, but the optimal layout would probably be putting that tree in the planting of the trees. But yeah, we've about taken out all the trees in there. So.
I know. Yeah, you're right. Full. Yes. Layout wise, grading wise, and everything, the most effective to remove the tree. I know though that it's trying to keep it. So there are options to keep it. We just have to adjust a little bit accordingly where that sits grade wise.
Brian, is there any possibility of this would probably expand your surfacing? But I've seen some layouts that like go around a tree.
Yeah.
And having road expansion around it.
Yeah, the problem with trees causing is at grade level elevation wise is causing what would cause low drainage issues. We talked about that though, maybe like a tree well, if you will, built around it. And within the with it, we're looking at that. I know and it's a nice tree. This is a tree. It is sitting right maybe low comparatively to where the rest of our where we need it to be drained out. Correct. Okay. But we'll get some. I think we can work through it. That's for sure. I assume based on previous discussions, the preference would be to keep it if at all possible. And that's the direction we're moving forward with. I think we can rearrange the equipment a little bit so it's in a better place on the before over here. So we'll keep tweaking that a bit, but otherwise, I think everything's playing out fine there. That's really the only big concern. In doing so, we also realized we didn't have a contract yet running for this. Obviously, been doing the work, so that is in front of you. I'm happy to answer any questions on that in terms of the consultant contract for the design and construction documents for all.
This would be 23,800 plus your hourly rate for bidding and construction management after that. So that, I don't necessarily know how to estimate.
I would say that's, yeah, my estimate of that, I would say that between all the section and construction admin.
It's not available to.
Oh, that's a 7. Sorry. No, that's.
Any discussion? Right, and then the roll call vote, Robertson. Schneider. McGuire.
Aye.
That's approved.
We'll do that in updates with you as on the way out. That's for sure. We did talk to also a couple of different contractor suppliers there. We feel pretty confident still in getting this in this fall. So I think we're looking good there.
I have a question on the tree law.
Yeah.
Has it been checked to make sure that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we actually talked about that internally too. Based on type of tree and any, concerns
Because if
with
it's,
disease later or things coming up.
and fall on the equipment,
Sure.
you know, I just.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great question. We did talk about it earlier too. I consider it a little bit, the tree expert.
What is it? What? I just didn't know.
There is. Yeah, he's always been great. He's been willing to help. And we can definitely have him look at it. It's a good looking.
Do you have out the program project?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, no, it's we talked about
You know,
that.
you don't, anyway, she really.
Right.
Then I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's, right.
And especially if
It's
you're gonna-
life.
I don't think I'll be there, so. That's why I asked.
Otherwise, other item is just some CDBG downtown revitalization items that are in front of you. I can try to update or pull you any updates.
I will do my best to walk us through this. We have 4 change orders. First, change order would be $30, and it would, this is all coming out of the budgeted as part of the project, better allowance and contingency. So that would be for, let's see, 31 West First Street. So this will have additional 6,700 available after this. And then there's one down here, which this is actually crediting the contingency back 4,000 back to the project. Early that contingency not going to be used. And that's for 21 West First. Next one here for 71 East First is a $3,326 change order, resulting in a balance of contingency after for 11,310. So still ample buffer there. And then 41 West, $367 change order, resulting in a remaining contingency balance of $9,633. So all of these are coming out of the allocated contingency. It's not any new contract value that's being given. So it's no increase in costs. That makes sense. That's what we do in the project. I'll be sure to find them. But anyways, this would be change order 6, 7, 8, and 9. And I got the submission for today for our one. So we'll have one of those next day council meeting. But yeah, any questions on these change orders? As I said, no additional contract initiatives. So,
What resolution I'm going to decide?
Lois?
This is 39.
39, okay.
Okay, that's not that
I still hear you decided.
No.
Okay, resolution 2026 39. Change order 6, 7, 8, and 9 for the CDBG downtown revitalization project. All listed on here as told.
Second. Any discussion? We're now to vote on those change orders. Wire. Schneider.
Aye.
King.
I think that's an application number 11, which has been approved by, yeah.
Just today, there was big, at least they had all the docs in the grant, so we would be okay to pay this as well. Let's see here, we did have a progress meeting, I think that was last week, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
or was it the week before?
Yeah.
I asked, no, it was last week, I asked about, the last week. Okay. I asked about kind of their updated timeline for this project. As of last week, they said about 1 more month of work. So I think at this point, we do have some ways to remedy the additional costs that we try to or at least deduct that from the application to cover those costs as a contract. But anyways, they have been making some progress and things are moving forward. Everyone seems to be want to get it done as quickly as possible. So at this point, yes.
Yeah, sorry, that progress meeting was good.
Was it pretty still then? Yeah. Still. Everything, this is fine. I got the clarification today. Privacy, we're still gonna have, let's see, we'll still have 150,000 after this next pay application to deduct from. So I'm okay with us paying this out.
I make a motion to approve 2026-40 pay application for 11 Cornerstone commercial contractor fee for work completed on the CDBG downtown revitalization project in the amount of $91,351.
Sorry. All right, any discussion?
So where are they at on the time frame of this being completed?
They said about a month. Was last part was that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they should be coming up in a couple of weeks. So right now, they also attached a project schedule here. Give me 1 second. Their completion.
There was one more based on that June.
Riverside, they're saying the whole project done. They didn't update this, Brian. It says
It's on that.
5/30. So
Working here, actually. We don't have a hard revised that. Other than the 1 month that they gave it progress meeting.
we saw the contract final completion date at the off, so. I was told in the progress meeting there's about a month left work, and that was 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks from now is what they should be done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
I would say at this point, though, is we don't pay any other pay application. Well, we withhold payment until done. And then, yes, that's something I talked about with Deanna.
Yeah, so that was, yeah, we could do that.
As an option, especially if we make sure we have enough funds to cover the additional costs that have resulted from the delay of the close of the project. So I think 150,000, which includes pension, and that still gives us sufficient amount to cover those costs and is a good incentive to finish the project and get done with that year. So I'm fine with this one, but I think next pay application, we don't send payment until the job's been completed.
How many people are on site working?
We should do smaller crews. They might have 2 or 3 people on the building and they move through. So it's not like there's 20, workers out here at a time working on all the buildings. It's usually a handful or less in an individual building. Andrew, I don't know if that aligns with what you've seen work on the coffee shop out
Yeah,
there.
typically it's like groups of like 2 or 3 guys working and kind of supervising.
All right, so we have a second to. All right, so it's Schneider.
Aye.
So the last was, yeah, I've been assisting Cole with some review development work or rezoning. So I think that's all I have. That's it. Any questions?
I just wondered, where you're at on grants.
For wellness, yeah, we got the cat.
Different application for that. That's going to be submitted before I'm done.
Yeah.
But
Yep, got that cat grant ready. We have the eyeballs one already in place. We had that, some progress meetings or progress statements that they have to provide reports back to keep with that funding. And obviously, the difficult to mention if we had any other ones. Were applicable.
you could like or
Yeah, the utility incentives there.
yeah, I mean the cat grant was the last.
Yeah,
was the last
last
big
big
one. Other than that, there's smaller stuff. There's like a 50,000 T-Mobile hometown one. There's opportunities with REC or sharing telephone. They have like actually like a no interest loan program that's just like $250,000, which is something we can definitely look into. But trying to prioritize like money dollars rather than minimizing. I mean, we already have debt in place, and our general obligation, we can only issue, as far as I understand, we can only issue debt up to that total amount. It's not something where we can take on. Yes, in my conversation with our on council, this we can't necessarily take on the $8 million bond and another piece of debt for this as well through another source because it all goes towards the same debt issuance effectively. So, but
Yeah, I'd like to see us going for some of those, what it's 50,000, 10,000. This may, if you see somebody, but I think that.
honestly, I have a list off of that. I think a resource development dashboard that of all of those, or some of them at least. I can't promise you that we'll be able to get applications to all of them, but it's something where those smaller ones, especially those like T-Mobile cases, those ones, those like grant foundation applications are typically a little less intrusive or intense than a cat grant. A foundation is not too bad, but like some of the ones that are through like a governmental agency, those ones are usually pretty in depth. So these smaller foundation ones are usually a little less.
Yeah, you know, has been, got good, but I think that we need to provide you with some initial pieces that break some more, you know, not.
We should take care of that whole.
We gotta thanks.
We just want zoning. We work on zoning.
Some potential rezoning.
We got that.
Yeah.
Just-
Just in general.
No, for us, it's a big.
You guys will hear about it. It's-
Yeah, not.
Next city council meeting, there'll be a request to set up a public hearing, so you guys will hear about it.
See some Saturday.
We'll see.
That big raffle tickets there, $5 per hour, and if you buy them, just saying.
I expect that you.
All right, I'm gonna try to take us home. Okay, so we have insurance renewals. Did talk to South Insurance about getting us quotes earlier. Sean mentioned that we can put in a note next year that we're gonna be bidding it out. Yes, hopefully a little quicker. But our total budgeted across all of our I guess property, all those categories together are about 165,000. So I budgeted about $40,000 more than what we're actually going to be spending. And the reason that happened was because our renewal date is so close to the fiscal year, which is great for separating those transactions into their coinciding fiscal year. But what that does is it leaves us less time to actually get proper estimates for the budget actually needs to be put together. So I kind of did 10% across the board, as that seems to be kind of an extreme case for the last 2 years. And then at the end of the day, if we end up, we shoot high on it, we're still taken care of because we account for it and made sure that it's working in our budget plan, which is what happened. So we end up $40,000 less than what was budgeted for. So we're going to be good. However, that being said, it should be next year looking at getting some other competitive proposals for insurance coverage. The only change on here, and I included a copy of the email, our linebacker insurance is actually going to increase just a little bit. We're going to save about $2,000 in premiums, and that was increased the deductible from $5,000 to $10,000. And based off of our claim history, it's something that we haven't had a ton of linebacker claims, other than we went for the fire equipment for some, and that was for the jaws of life equipment that got education tools that got damaged during the accident out in 218 last year. But we really haven't had too many claims on for our linebacker. Sorry, I don't think we've had any linebacker claims. So it's one of those things where the savings in premiums versus the increase in our deductible over the course of a couple of years would, or 2.5 years, would pay for itself. So it makes sense to make that swap. And it's, if you're looking at the margins, the difference between paying $5,000 and $10,000 for a deductible isn't going to make or break our finances, but over the course of a couple of years would save us money. So based on our claim history, it makes sense to change that. So everything else, same coverages. There was a couple of deductibles that got changed for wind and hail. So instead of being like $500, it was now a percentage of the damage, 1%. So that's a trend that I've seen across the state. It's unavoidable. It's a conditional rule. So if we don't accept it, we don't have the coverage. let's see, thankfully we are still covered, so if like we get hail damage at one building, that whole part, all of the buildings are covered with the same deductible. So it's not like each one of those is a separate instance. So we're still protected that way, but yeah, that's something we're just kind of seeing with more and more claims, more expensive claims across the state, that they're gonna try to make up money in other ways. So whether it be jacking premiums or boosting, deductibles. So anyways, that's the insurance coverage for next year. So that I already changed the amount. I reduced the amount of their cover page there with all of the at 125,412. I subtracted off that 2032 difference savings from changing that, and our new renewable amount for all of those coverages would be 123,380. Questions? I said a lot of words.
Was that in the figure last week?
Yes.
So how much was,
What do you, sorry.
it said the form is applicable to all sections except workers' comp.
Workers' comp is listed on here, 22,730.
Well, what do they mean by this then?
Forms. So there's forms that go, this is just a cover page. So it's a whole policy binder. For workers' comp might be a separate policy binder, but this is our total premiums right here.
Okay, well,
Yeah, there's like 478 other pages. This is just the first coverage. Part of it has all the disclosures, all the coverage specifics. Maybe you guys have some video for all of those unless you wanted to. I can get you a copy of
I didn't want to do it, but I was wondering why that's on there.
Yeah. No, that section's in policy, the estimated total policy premium. That is our total.
Maybe it's because the changes in salaries or something. I don't know.
I did ask Sean about our fire department. So they were using, so workers' comp is based off of a factor of $1 per $100 in payroll. So it typically will give a rate for this job classification. So in this case, volunteer fire department. And they were using information off of stipend, which to me doesn't make sense because the purpose of the stipend is retention tool is not a payroll, and it also has a paper call, which is kind of like supposed to be trying to reimburse people for wear and tear on vehicles, clothes, and things like that to respond. So I don't think that's really an adequate metric of. I was wondering why isn't it like a flat rate volunteer? I understand that if there were claims that they would be compensated as a state professional firefighters that were doing full time. But I was just curious, asking Sean about what was and he's going to answers. But I just thought that was a little fun because it makes sense for Steph and I, we have tangible payroll to measure that against, but the fire department's a bit different because it's volunteer. Yes, there is some pay that makes them, but it's not like a wage per se. So, anyways, it doesn't change our quote. It's just something I thought was mentioned.
All right, any other questions about the insurance? Motion to pass resolution 2026-43.
41. Glad it's not just me.
$23,380. You're now on that as well. Project 996
Aye.
next thing I have for you guys is a hotel motel funding agreement with the Riverside History Center. So as we change this from a grant program to History Center and that we routinely fund each year. Instead of doing like an application that has like, tell us how many visitors you had and all of that, this establishes documentation that the value of this, those entities, I guess, History Center and RAC bring to our community and why are we supporting it. So in an audit, we have documentation on what the public purpose is of this. So we have that documented, but it also we addresses some shortcomings we had with our prior grant award program that states how we'll go about funding this. So we'll have a reimbursement basis and a limited term of this that will be reviewed each year. I also think it keeps us focused on the important things. I know Phil, your proposal, I believe was for 30,000, if I'm not mistaken. We did budget 22,000 is what we had in the budget for this. So there's an $8,000 difference. I know Phil, as we talked about, you still want to request 30 and then let you talk to city council about that. But what we have here is the draft of the agreement that is all the terms this being approved by city council who would sign and this July 1st through June 30th. So questions? Phil, if you want to.
The reason for the increase is just, we haven't really changed that most of the years, the last 2 years. Every year, our rent keeps going up, property taxes keep going up. So we're starting to lose ground here, so we raise it up to what our actual rent is. It went up like over $100 a month. And I think it's been doing that most every year. We gotta wait to do our new lease every year so he gets his property taxes in.
That's basically what's happening.
Yeah, because ours is just for our rent. We pay for all the utilities, insurance and everything else. Or,
And I mean, you're all volunteers.
Yeah.
Nobody's paid.
Yeah, we're all volunteers here. Most of them do 1 day a week. We're closed Sundays. I do 2 days a week now because we've had Carolyn Hudson moved away.
I'm the same for
Get more and more people coming in all the time.
a busload.
Yeah, we had a bus of 50 people in the other day. Tour bus out of Minnesota.
That's nice. Yeah. You guys do a good job. I would say. For what we have down there, the people that bought, I think that was a lot, but I think I feel like certain that. I think they're very good with their money, so.
There been any improvements the last few years, anything? Upgrades or?
Well, we haven't expanded for the last few years. We're always increasing things and getting more, changing stuff out, putting new stuff in.
So would also the increase in rent also be like a result of getting more space in the facility?
That was like 3 years ago. I think we did go up a little bit that year with our request. The generally in the years we have an increase, it goes up quite a bit every year. Ideally, sweet taxes go down.
How does the property tax impact the rent, I guess?
Well, he's got to pay more for it, so he raises it.
Based on the facility property tax that you're saying?
Well, the increases have been. You know, the actual rent's based on space and everything.
Same rate, you're increasing the rent.
Yeah.
The section on the script, this goes person show these purposes. That's why you're
That's why I had lease agreement as, if we're gonna specify that, if the purpose was to be reimbursed for rent, attach this as part of that appendix of what the appropriate expenditures would be. So then, at that rate, we would do, what Phil and I talked about was a quarterly reimbursement. So it would show us proof of payment for those 3 months of rent, and then we would submit the check back for that. So then, at that point, we're making sure that we'll be good stewards of the funds, and we're not, putting, we're just reimbursing for money they've already spent, and we've already verified that we are, in fact, reimbursing for those costs. So,
We would have to have now, which we get previous years rent.
Phil, you submit us, get your
What,
previous.
just not last, the previous lease?
Yep, if you have that, just kind of a rent out, that would be good. A part of this, Phil, is also like, financial statements of your reporting. Do you guys keep like, profit loss, fund balance report like that?
We have the bank statements. Got any sort of
No.
spreadsheet set up on profit loss and that.
Your income?
Well, we sell merchandise. Which that's what we're used to pay the electric bills, gas bills. Insurance.
Stuff that just needs to be basic, right?
Yeah.
Expenses. We always can pay.
I mean, the extent of our, the extent, sorry, what?
Yeah, well, we used to have a grant cycle, didn't we get?
Basically, we've gotten balances, we haven't gotten the full, like, profit loss type of funding source.
I say it would help if we have a fund, something that they or something. The other thing was the rent. When you expanded how many years ago? When you
3.
rent, did it go up that?
Oh, yeah, it goes up every time.
So what I'm saying is there a kind of a price for each figure?
I think that's what he gets off. Then with the taxes going up, it just keeps increasing.
So do you wanna, maybe we get some figures, or how do you wanna?
I guess. What you're agreeing to with the agreement is, I mean, it's just, I guess if that's your request, just the rent.
Yes.
We know that we're just paying that amount. So it's, I guess, that,
How much is it?
$2,500 a month, so $30,000,
That is the 12 months.
and that doesn't include utilities.
Not the water is included in that. You don't pay a lot.
The rent equals your cost. Yeah, I guess my thing is that if we're understanding rent every year, and last year's payment to the was 20,000. All right, so we're increasing it over 33%. And maybe that didn't cover the rent 22,000.
No, we were losing ground last year.
Okay, let's find out what it was. If it continues to increase at pace, yeah, we need to look.
I mean, here's the thing with property taxes for that property. It was $6,006 per year 2 years ago. Last year, or the year before that, the year after that was $7,002. The year after that was $7,086. So the property taxes really haven't changed. I mean, yeah, they've changed $100, of course, full year over 2 years.
So can we vote for the 22 and have them bring figures? I mean, we have to do it.
No, this is just authorizing for the next fiscal year. So for this expenses after July 1st. You could approve it later, but also they do need to, I mean,
When did we get paid anything till, what, end of September?
yeah.
But I'd like to see the tables. And, I mean, not that,
But you just want like all the expenses with
well,
utilities?
I think you can come up with what,
I think you could ask Phil specifically what you're looking for because he's gonna be the one to be able to get it. So what exactly are you guys looking for from?
what is rec turning for there or something? They give us-
So RAC's a little different, it's an event, and we just say, we're gonna contribute 25,000, of these categories for okay with spending. And then they have that amount, they submit receipts. If they justify all of those, we reimburse them and stuff. So,
Well, technically your profit and loss is gonna be like 6 rows. I mean, there's expenses, and then your income. I mean, what else is there?
The only question I see is the Kimberly or justify the increase.
Right.
Right. That's the only question, yeah. And that's not something.
But also, it talks about the appendix.
So the appendix would be like the associated documents like the lease. That would be like, here's the expenses we're willing to reimburse for. And then,
No appendix.
yeah, so that's what this document, and so we would supplement that with this agreement. So what we needed tonight was, is this amount and for this purpose, okay? And if so, we can sign the agreement before, but I honestly, best practice is not to like fund operational costs, but I also understand that this museum does not exist without this funding. I
Well,
think
you
that's
don't want abuses from,
No,
it's not, government contracts, and these kind of can melt it and then.
don't
charge
disagree.
$50 million.
No, that's what I'm saying, it's not best practice to pay for operational costs, but I also, in the realities, of the real world, this museum doesn't exist without some kind of funding assistance here. Unless first sales, charge really get there, might change things, but,
Which most people come in there really appreciative, there is no charge.
yeah, no,
We probably had half as many people coming in. Charge.
I'm not saying to, I'm just saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would love to table it. Get some numbers. But it's some short end talking.
I'll second.
This is my look. See if you can dig up your history on what that.
As we find all those. And,
So, call reducing the Wednesday.
Probably not this year. But ultimately, bringing profit and loss, figuring out what I don't know, like, just look at your bank account balances, it will tell you which trajectory you're headed or how much money is available. So, and I would contact these folks, so if you can get plugged in with, that would look at the those financial aspects that I think would be good for this. It does bring a lot of people to this reliably. But if we want to keep it here, we have to make sure that you guys have the right tools to make sure things are heading in the right direction or staying that way.
So are you on financial, like, QuickBooks that or anything, or?
no, Mike's the treasurer. And that really has QuickBooks.
Yeah. I guess I'd like to know a little more about it.
We also take your bank statements, kind of look backwards, right? That's more, that's low, that's good, that's more. And then any deposits you have is, I'm assuming, your income from trinkets.
Yeah. Well, what we've been doing, we have a separate account for the gift shop. And we just keep transferring money over from that to the history center's account to cover for the rent.
At this point, with this request, the only concern is the rent.
Yes, that's all it's requested.
That's all I need to see. Show me what the rent's been like for the last 5 years. That's all I need to see. I don't need to see what your bank account, what's in your bank right now, because personally, it's none of my business.
with the rent, what the square footage has been each
Yeah.
year, I think too. if there
Yeah.
are Changes to that, it's helpful.
Whatever's changed in the rent. I don't care about your t-shirt sales. I do. I hope you do.
Not for this
excellent on
purpose,
it,
though.
But I don't think we need to see a record of 5 years on your t-shirt sales. And on your utility bills, which you're not asking us to pay that, you're asking us to pay your rent. Let's see what that rent has done for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'll see what old leases I can find.
They might be able to help you out too.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's got records.
Oh, yeah.
It might be quicker to have her, she's probably got a spreadsheet or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll just save you some time.
it may be a week before I talk to anybody, because everybody's gonna be busy this
That's
week.
right.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
not that you have more important things right now, so.
Okay, I will do that.
We have a motion table, sorry.
Any additional discussion?
Okay, thank you. Gotcha, thank you.
All right, if there's no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. Next, have a resolution, this would be the final budgeted transfers that we had, for fiscal year 2026. We have 100,000 from casino to wellness center, which is something we've done on an annual basis. Let's see, we have another one that would be casino to fire, and this is a combination of, we'll do, I guess what we've done is like half of the, I guess what would the city's levy would have been for, use the Iowa Township rate, which township we're in, and we apply that based, take that out of the general fund for it. So in this case, half of that we transfer from casino, the other half from general. The other part of this is the other section of the fire apparatus reserves that need to be transferred over there. So 126,750 of that will be going towards the purchase of the rescue engine that we'll be having coming in August or September. The next one here, casino to general, that is, I believe half was, we do a quarter of the law enforcement contract. So 71,312 is what that would be. Local option sales tax fund to general, and that is based upon the lawful purpose statement of the 60-40 split of what we put. This is what was budgeted. At least gets us to, there's some things you do in reconciling lost because we should be having each month, the revenues that come in, a portion of that's going directly to the general as a basically property tax relief is what's referred to in the purpose statement. And then the rest is like an unrestricted balance that we can be used for any other lawful purpose. So that's one thing that would be a point of improvement there, but that would be the budget amount based off of the budgeted revenue for local option sales tax. We ended up north of that, but as we normally do, but yes. And then lastly, general to fire and EMS, and that is the other portion of the budgeted township levy portion. So questions on those? I can get you updated fund balances. I didn't have that one here. My apologies for that, but you have enough to cover it, so.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-43. Resolution to approve fiscal year 2026 funds transfers as listed.
Just point out that's 42.
Yes. Yeah, we have the resolution for that time, so.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, we'll ask for your vote on that. McGuire. Schneider.
Aye.
Sexton. Keating. Rogerson.
Aye.
Approved.
Next thing we have is closed session for my annual performance evaluation.
Before
Or
we
if you'd like to-
discuss that, is there any benefit to have Brian here for items H and I? I'm just gonna.
Yeah, we could probably move those up.
All right, let's do that.
Okay.
So next item, we'll go to, item 12, which just discussion on the whole park plus board retrofit to overall boards. And this was my recommendation. I'm not asking for an action. I just want to see if there's any interest with as much activity as we've seen at the pickleball courts and looking at what the cost might be to do something like that. And I don't, Brian, if you have any input on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you're looking at just resurface, repainting so that you can retrofit that pickleball line markings within the tennis court, right?
Yep, something like that. Yeah, I don't think it has to be anything too extensive.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
pretty-
just opening up a couple of other courts. We've had people ask about reserving and that type of thing, so.
Talk about fence.
Around that, well, yeah, so I guess this is just do one at a time effort into that. If we do, then maybe we'll have it on the next agenda. for more
Sure.
discussion.
So you're saying.
Tennis.
Tennis.
Possibly. It's whether you guys think that.
I know what you're saying, but you see people playing tennis.
Yeah. And
Oh, you
that's-
do?
that's
I mean,
one-
that's exactly my thing, is that
I mean, no, I agree that.
yeah, I hate to take that away from you, that,
And you can do that as a share. I mean, it can double up too.
that we have in your.
Yeah, but you can officially paint it as such so it serves both tennis and pickleball. If that's.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess you would still have the portal that you'd have to use, I'm assuming, is what we currently use. We have the tennis, the permanent tennis
Yeah.
nets, but we have temporary ones that, I mean, Kevin just.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily, I mean, we can show real quick layout. Yeah, people do it all the time.
All right. Well, maybe, yeah, I don't know, do we want to have access?
I mean, I wouldn't-
put together?
I wouldn't put anything.
you throw that in,
Yeah, so, yeah. It's not,
I'll just be on long.
I'm just teasing.
no, I mean, really, it wouldn't take much at all.
Everybody all right with that? Yeah, discuss it, lock into anything, but we do have a lot of activity on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds like you're awful familiar with familiar, I can't.
I got you.
Twister. You know, with people doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, absolutely.
and how it would work, yeah.
No, I agree.
All right, that was all that.
Yeah.
I was just getting some resources.
Okay.
And item I, stoplight controls and telephone systems replacement.
Yeah, so we've had some issues out at the stoplight there. On the, let me orient myself, left-hand turn out of the casino. So that would be eastbound there. Yep. And so there's a series of 3 detection loops that are in this concrete there. The series of them, the rearmost one is functional, but we found that the front 2 are not. So that means a vehicle that's pulled up to the line is going to sit there forever and it's not going to trigger.
And run stop sign.
Yeah, but we got a temporary sign that says stop here on red. People still pull past it because ultimately what they're looking to do is they have that Riverside Casino sign and they can't see around it. So they naturally want to pull up. And then when they pull up, there's no more vehicle on it, so it doesn't turn. So we've had New Miller Electric out there to try to see if we can just get this functional. And keep in mind, this is the original system out there. This is 20 years old at this point. There's nothing, they looked at it, and there's doesn't seem to be anything they can do to get it operational. This is often a safety hazard, something that needs to get addressed. What we have here is a quote. I tried to get some other ones, but I have been unsuccessful in getting in contact with anyone to be able to quote this. I'm sure there are other people who do it, but based on the immediate need, I feel like this is a, something that would address the issue. This would get into a camera-based control system. Yeah, so it's a camera-based control system that will be able to be flexible with any future lane changes or also any other pedestrian needs. So if we have pedestrian crossings, it can accommodate that as well. This system would also have the capability of doing traffic counting, as well as like speed, some speed detections. We get data on that, which I think is good to have as well. But yeah, so this is what I have. I've tried to look at, there's recently become aware of a program called Sourcewell. And basically it's a site where there's a bunch of vendors that provide bids on a variety of different equipment and gives you kind of this most competitive pricing for this piece of equipment. And I looked up there and I submitted a request to figure out, based off of what is quoted here, what would be their proposal was. I have not gotten a response on that yet, but out of concern for the safety of this intersection, I feel like it's something we should move forward with. I've Damon and Brett out at the casino have talked to me quite a bit about this, and I've been wanting to move forward with it, but it's something where I don't know, I feel a little intimidated about getting quotes for this because there seems to be only a few different vendors. You also have to find an electrician to do the work as well, but
Would this proposal include that warning from the west?
no, this would just be the controls and detection system at this intersection. So there'd be cameras, I think 2 cameras placed at this intersection and the controls in the cabinet there. So doing something like that of further warning to the east there, or to the west, sorry, around the curve, would be outside the scope of this.
So the scope of this, is this what we need that we've been talking about, or is this?
This would get the intersection operational for the foreseeable future. This would replace our detection system. So this would take us out of the in-ground loops to a camera-based system. It's just the camera overlay. So it would pick up a vehicle, it would see a vehicle or pedestrian, and it would trigger that in that zone, and it would trigger the sequence to run it. So this would not address those other indicators, but
it would take care of that whole area and the lights and everything of what you thought we needed.
yeah. So any lane changes, any pedestrian crossings, anything like that would be accommodated by this system. So it's as simple as basically setting new detection zones on there.
So like if they need a turning lane.
Yeah, no, you
south,
can,
that will be included.
you can easily adjust this.
So
So
my main question is too, to make sure that was incorporated in the.
I guess, I mean, I get that now and I understand, having trouble getting it, but as travel is going to increase their traffic, I would like to see that as a future add-on thing with that.
the indicator around the curve,
flashing around the curve.
absolutely. That's I've discussed that with them. That's going to be separate from this. I don't think it would have any issues adding in there. We can verify that with the installer of this to make sure that would be doable, just like we have. I would think it'd be no different than keeping the
That's
existing.
just extra equipment.
Yeah.
Those cameras can slide across that pole.
So this is the detection equipment. So once it triggers it, it would detect just like the other light. I guess that would be east there.
Yeah, unlike the loop, these can.
I just want to make sure that it was pretty much what we need for what
It is not
we've
going
been
to
talking
include
to.
anything we need for that software.
This one,
It's not gonna inhibit us from doing it.
It will not inhibit us, but it will not include any of that.
No, I understand that, but I want to know that you can.
It can be added on later with these systems, yeah.
as far as I understood, this system with these cameras would be able, you just have to set new turning zones.
There might be some of them, yeah. I'm not-
Correct, yeah,
Totally.
Yep, it creates these zones, so yeah, you would add another zone.
So as long as you have footage, if you get a camera on it.
But you're still gonna have to put lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
But also this system adding, I guess I can give a breakdown of cameras, but adding in an extra camera to this is a lot cheaper than adding in a whole new controller module, which is what I guess the BioVision core or whatever this is.
Yeah, it makes sense to go into the cameras. Obviously, that's what most any new intersections are now.
So you're familiar with all this?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you think that's what we.
Yeah, my biggest questions were, would that coverage allow you for any future turn lanes, specifically if you're looking at development to the south? I also had a question, and I don't know enough about the 28E agreement. Is DOT responsible for any costs associated with
Not
it?
for this slide.
Okay.
We just went over last, but not for this slide.
Okay. And you know, it's fully confident to do performance work.
Yeah.
And they're doing everything on,
Yeah.
that big mess going in the Cedar Rapids.
No, we work with them a few
They can
times.
handle that, right?
Yeah.
They're good.
That's what we do, so you can just compatible with it.
That's my biggest, that was my biggest.
What's, I guess, from what I've been told about the system, the modularity of it, just adding cameras as needed is something that basically expands our detection zones. If needed, if we can cover it with these 2 cameras and not make any changes, great. If we have to add a 3rd camera on here, it's not the end of the world. So this is just the control detection.
2 cameras on this?
2 cameras is what their proposal was. There's a solution sheet that
How many times you sat on the stoplight or motorcycle? I usually run it if I got stuck. I'm not gonna sit there and wait for someone to come up and drive over the back.
Right.
Let him go through about 2 cycles.
I will say it's happened to me before, and I don't like to run stuff. But you have a choice, when it comes up behind you, so it doesn't work. So. Resolution.
43.
41.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to 2026 43.
Yes.
To approve the placement of traffic light controls and detection system in the amount of $34,000.
Okay. We have a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Oh,
Go ahead.
how soon will they be able to do it?
I had to check with the Logan's. Honestly, Logan's been the one handling communication. I can check with him on it. But yeah,
But I
I'm
mean,
sure.
Probably before their anniversary, probably, because they have those outdoor concerts and stuff like
I
that.
hope so. I have to check with Miller, but this at least gets the ball rolling. We can at least get.
Because at the end of July, first of August, so I was thinking,
It's probably just if they have the cameras in stock or if there's any back order.
yeah, I was just, you know, wondering what the time frame was, so
It's fine. I can follow up on that.
A lot of those, they have the police out there directing traffic.
Oh, during the event?
Some of those they have, the outdoor concerts. You never notice because you're just sitting at your house.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote on that. Rogerson.
Aye.
Key. Sexton. Schneider.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
All right, so I'll circle back up to.
thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 12, the closed session for the city administrator and celebration. To have a motion to closed session. Yep, yeah, let's do that. We can take a 5-minute recess. Yeah. 8:16.